All right, we're back finally. Been a week. We're here Tuesday. So let's see if we can all see each other. Wait for this idiotic ad to pop up. All right, there's the screen. There's the ad that I've got to wait for it to get gone. All right, and it's out of here and I'm there. All right. So hope you all can see me. Let's see. What do we got? We got some 5x5s. Country Humans Network, Cassandra, Prep Rebel, Robert, Pennsylvania Mama Bear, Dr. Nurse Jenny, Salt Mist Cottage. Okay, cool. You guys can see me. All right, happy Tuesday. We're back. Been a week. Sorry about Saturday. I just had some issues that would have made the live stream not enjoyable. Let's put it that way. Everything's fine. So, hope you all have had a decent start to the week. Yeah, craziness going on along. So, get right into it here. If you noticed today, Joe has finally decided to acknowledge that the southern border is now a crisis. The only problem is, Joe, was a crisis 2 years ago. It's a catastrophe now. So you need to keep up with what's going on. The rest of us live in the here and now. I understand you're still living in the 1970s. It's the last time your brain worked. But yeah, so coming up with all these brilliant ideas and the back and forth between the House and the White House, the Congress needs to do something more. No, nobody needs to do anything more. You just need to enforce the laws that are already on the books, guys. It's pretty easy. You don't come into the United States without being vetted. The end. Okay. It's been the law for, I don't know, 250 years, something like that, thereabouts. But yeah, to all those of you in Oklahoma, and this, you guys, I told you I'll bust balls on anybody. Senator Langford needs to go. Don't care that he's a Republican. Get his ass out. He's the rocket scientist who's come up with the brilliant idea of, well, we should set a limit on the amount of illegals that come across the southern border to 5,000 a day. Do the math. That's 1.8 million a year. In other words, he doesn't want to change anything. He just wants to make it legal for all the illegals to come in. Now, to give you this, the birth rate in the United States is about 3.5 million a year. So literally, they want to increase the population of the United States 50% by illegals as to what we have in the way of births in the United States. I'm not adding in, that's the birth rate, but the population also includes those that die. Okay. I'm not even figuring that out. So you figure, how long does it take till we're overtaken by illegals? Because you probably have another, 3.5 million people die each year. That's why we're not seeing any real population growth. Actually, we saw population decline last year. But hey, let's bring in more illegals, and that way they can just take over the whole country. So yeah, Langford is the one that penned this bill. Get him out. Whoever, not the Democrat, but whoever the hell is primarying Langford, there's who you want to vote for. That, there's the first one in the Senate who gets the from me. Not going to happen. But what was it? Then of course we have the 3 Americans that were killed by the Iranian drone the other day, and we thought it was an American drone coming back, and so we didn't take it down. So you're telling me these millions upon billions of dollars of technology can't tell whether it's a US drone or an Iranian drone? I can go back 40 plus years in the military, and we were given decks of cards. Playing cards, military guys play a lot of cards. Okay. And the military gave us cards that had pictures of Soviet tanks, Soviet aircraft. We could identify them by sight because we'd looked at the pictures so many times. Are you going to tell me that all the computer technology that we have can't identify the fact that it was a foreign enemy drone? It wasn't one of ours? Not buying it. Okay. And then, of course, Joe came out late this evening and said that he's made up his mind on the retaliation for these three service members that were killed. He's made up his mind of what he's going to do to Iran. And I figure he just had to figure out, how many zeros to put on the check or how much cash could fit on a pallet, and called up the Ayatollahs and said, okay, we're sending you this. Just make sure you send 10% back to me. That was pretty much what Joe's figuring. He won't give us the details yet because they probably haven't figured out the final dollar amount. But that'll be it. It'll be, well, we're just going to pay Iran to not do this anymore, right? Then the funny one today, again, Joe Biden, because, not that I'm a comedian, but hell, a stand-up comedian can do a 2-hour set every day with something different, talking about Biden. So he goes out on the East Lawn today, 10:30 this morning, and goes out on the East Lawn, and one of the questions the reporters asked was, why do you think that Trump is up in the polls? Joe's answer, well, the media is doing that. If they didn't talk about him so much, he wouldn't be. And of course, the media looked at him and said, you're blaming us? And he goes, come on, I'm joking. It's early. 10:30 in the morning? I don't know about you guys, but 10:30 in the morning, I'd usually been at work for 3 hours already. I was getting close to going to lunch. It wasn't early. It was the middle of my day. But then again, when you don't get out of bed until 9 o'clock in the morning as the, most powerful person in the world, because, hey, everything's going so swimmingly, we don't need to do anything. I can sleep in today. Yeah, there we go. But yeah, those are the Joe Biden blunders of the day. God. So, all right, enough of that fun. Let's get into what you guys want to talk about here. Q&A. As per normal, if you got questions for me, guys, please put them in all caps, just like every other channel. Okay, makes it easier for me to find them. And the only thing I require is that we treat each other in here with respect, with dignity, polite. I don't care if you disagree, that's cool. Just do it politely. Okay? Keep it PG-13, we'll be good. Before we get started, I want to give a warm-hearted welcome and congratulations to Prep Rebel, who is now officially a U.S. citizen, effective this weekend. So he has finally got out of Kanakistan and come down to Californistan. Hey, it's at least a little bit of an improvement. So we'll go there. But brother, welcome. Glad to have you. All right, let's get to Q&A. We'll see where we were, and I'm going to get to as far as I can. There's all the 5x5s, and we will roll on into what we got. Swithers 00. Mr. P, have I received my YouTube plaque for reaching 100,000 subscribers? No, I reached that about a year ago. Apparently, I don't meet the qualifications because the channel has got strikes in the past. So we will see. The last strike I got was February 2nd last year. So we've almost gone an entire year without a strike if I can keep my nose clean for a couple of days. And then we'll see if they'll actually give me my silver award for reaching 100,000 subscribers. Who knows? But ain't really concerned about it. It's not like it's going to, this is going to get this display right here in my living room. Now it'll probably get thrown in a box somewhere in the garage. So not overly concerned about it. It'll be cool to get, and I'll never see it again. Let's see. Country Humans Network. Boy, I can't agree with you more in this one. Don't we need to get rid of Ilhan Omar from Minnesota Congress? Well, we need to get rid of her from Congress. We need to get rid of her from the United States. I mean, when her speech comes out the other day, says, I'm a Muslim first and a Somali second, and there was never a mention to her being an American, yet she sits in Congress, we have a little problem here, okay? I mean, it still dumbfounds me that it's already been proven that she uh, what's the word I'm looking for? Committed immigration fraud to get here in the first place, and they've never. I mean, there's the evidence is there. Okay, everybody's seen it, and they won't kick her out. You know, so and I can't say the people in Minnesota are going to do any better because they're all Somalis, Muslims first, and Somalis second too. You know, in her district. So yeah, she's just another shit stain on the underwear that is the Democrat Party. Let's see. Alan Pawarski, did I see Canadian Prepper's post today? No, I don't watch Canadian Prepper. If I need to buy something, I don't need him to tell me what I need to buy, so not overly concerned about it. All right. Whoops. Okay, we shot to the bottom, so we'll go back up to the top. All right, back and see what we got. Come on. You guys quiet tonight, huh? Dale from Ohio, don't the drones transmit a friend or foe signal? So I'm saying, you figured there'd be something that they'd pick up, you know, some sort of signature or whatever, you know, visual identification. Somehow they would have figured this out, you know. No, this was somebody asleep on the job, or, I mean, it's excuses, and the public is dumb enough to go, oh, it was just a mistake. No. Crystal clear. What do I think about Iranian sleeper cells in the U.S.? I don't know, Iranian, Chinese, cartels, ISIS, Al Qaeda. They're all here. There's no, I mean, there was a couple of months ago, maybe it was fall, I think it was thereabouts, where the overwhelming majority of people coming across the southern border were Asian. Please tell me how that worked. What did they do? Swim from China to Mexico? You know, no. I mean, you don't fly from Beijing to Central America and then walk to the United States. How did you afford the plane ticket? Right? Okay. No. Yeah, there's sleeper cells all over the place. And this is, you know, this is my, Mrs. P and I've talked about this before. This is my biggest fear with all this. What's going to happen is, you know, you hear about the Civil War, okay, that is inevitably coming, and whether it's going to be red versus blue. And the problem is, like I've said many times, it's not like everybody's going to be wearing uniforms, you know, or red T-shirts or blue T-shirts. Not like you couldn't infiltrate somewhere anywhere if they had them. I mean, remember the movie The Dirty Dozen, where they just switched the armbands, right? Okay. What's going to wind up happening is, you want to talk about segregation? Oh, we're going to have that. Because when the shooting starts, the answer is going to be, you don't look like me. And this is where the problem comes in, is whites are going to shoot blacks, Mexicans are going to shoot Asians, Asians are going to shoot whites, whatever it's going to be. And that's my fear, okay? Because it's not going to matter that it's two people that have the exact same ideology. It's going to be, you look different than me. And that's what this is driving us to, guys. That's how warped the liberal mind is, that they don't see that that's what their end game is. I mean, the politicians, the elitists do, but the minions out there running around the street going, we need reparations, don't see this crap. And that's exactly what's going to wind up happening. Thomas Saiban, have I heard anything new about the convoy heading to Texas? I didn't hear anything today. I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how much media coverage it doesn't get. Okay. Uh, somebody sent me an email the other day about, do you realize how many trucks 700,000 trucks is? Oh, yeah, I had a good idea. I mean, it's enough to go across the a line of trucks, bumper to bumper, across the United States and back. Okay. So that's going to be interesting to see how this all happens. But the big worry, of course, is just like everything else, just like January 6th, are the feds going to be involved trying to arrest people? You know, and this is the problem, where a peaceful protest gets infiltrated by the government trying to stoke emotion to, and then lie to say it wasn't peaceful, and then start arresting people. So our own government is trying to, in another way, stop people from exercising their First Amendment rights. This is how dangerous. You want to talk about destroying our democracy? Hey, we're not a democracy, but you want to talk about destroying our constitutional republic? That is 100% in the lap of the Democrat Party right now. They are actively trying to do it. Start picking out amendments. First Amendment, Second Amendment, Fifth Amendment, Fourth Amendment, Sixth Amendment, hold down and down the line. Okay, they haven't got to the third yet because they can't house people, and we're not in a war, so they're not trying to house troops in our house yet. But we've already seen enough where they want to house illegals in our houses. So let's see how that one works. As soon as it's a war, well, you know what? These are illegals that are going to fight for our side, so we're going to house them in your house. Now we got a problem. Breed. Can a diabetic still use urine for their homemade fertilizer? I'm going to say probably not. Okay. Again, I'm not the ultimate decision maker on what's going to work. I'm not a chemist or anything like that. I'm going to say, because really, if you're on medication, obviously insulin or something like this, it's probably not a good idea. I'm not going to say it isn't. I don't know exactly how all the chemicals work in the body, how the insulin does, everything like that. I'm not a doctor, nothing of the sort. Okay. But you're best off using urine from somebody who's non-medicated. Now, I take blood pressure medicine and I still use my urine. Okay. I'm not going to tell you not to do it, but it's worth a little bit of research, or maybe asking your doctor, hey, I want to use this. I've seen all sorts of places that it's a good source of nitrogen for my gardens and stuff like that. How does the insulin affect my urine? Would it, because if he says, well, it destroys all the nitrogen in your urine, then it's useless. Okay. But I don't know. So, I mean, as silly as it is, that's probably a question for your doctor. Kay Webbles, what did I do for the military intelligence when I was in the Army? I was an interrogator. Okay, so that was what I was trained to do. But of course, we didn't go to war, and we never, I was Czech linguist interrogator. So it wasn't like, this was during the Cold War. It wasn't like we ever went to war against the Soviet Union, so it never happened. So the majority of my time was spent, let's put it this way, it was still the Army. The majority of my productive time, when it wasn't doing stupid stuff, hey, let's go paint rocks, hey, let's go inventory the gravel in the motor pool. Typical Army, busy work. But it was primarily on training other people on how to resist interrogation, how to handle prisoners, that sort of stuff. We had plenty of training for ourselves, obviously, more language training to keep our skills up. Went to a British interrogators course with MI5. Oh God, what else did I do? I had a time where I went and spent a week in Lubbock to go talk to high school students about the benefits of joining the army. I mean, anybody that's in knows you're trained, and then in the inevitable use of the military, they waste all that money and don't give you anything useful. It's like, well, you're there just in case. Yeah, a lot of money to train me or anybody that was with me to never do anything. But yeah, and then other things that I did, I probably shouldn't talk about. Let's just leave it there. Uh, the Rush. Hey, I've got an Opus generator, but I need solar panels. How much do they cost? That's up to you. Okay. It depends on what you want to do. Do you want portable panels? Do you want fixed panels? Do you know, how many do you want? Do you want 100 watt, 200 watt, 300 watt, 400 watt panels? What's the capacity of what you got? You know, there's not a, oh yeah, they're $600 and you're done. It depends on what you want. Like I said, I mean, just the beginning. Are you going to mount panels on your roof? Are you going to build a solar array, if you will, out in the backyard out of 4x4s and 2x4s? Okay, you can use fixed panels. That's great. Or you want the portable panels? It looks like a little briefcase you can fold up, pick up, put out. You know, many ways you can do it. So I can't give you an answer to that. Do, 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 do. Okie Ranch, we can all make you a silver 100K award. By the tinfoil. There you go. No. Like I said, not important to me. Don't really care. If I get it, I get it. If I don't, I don't. It's not going to make a difference in my life. Okay. Hang on, I got to find where we are again. Okay. Tammy Shaw, have I started my seeds yet? Yes, my cabbage is in. I went out and checked them today. They have all sprouted. So I've got 30 little cups full of little cabbage sprouts that are ready to go. Well, I mean, they're not ready to go, but I mean, they're that big. They broke the soil. So yes, 2024 gardening season around here is effectively started. Let's see. Yeah, there you go. Vicky Savage. In my opinion, Ilhan Omar should be sent back to her origin for Sharia penalties for cohabitating with an infidel. Sounds good. I don't care what reason. Put her on the next space shuttle or SpaceX rocket or whatever and blow the damn thing up in space. I'll buy the beer. American Girl. Did I read about Cori Bush? Oh, are you talking about the spending half a million bucks, giving it to her then boyfriend, now husband, for bullshit security details? In other words, stealing from taxpayers. Gee, that should surprise anybody. Yeah. Handyman Prepper, why is it that the mainstream media refuses to report on the Texas-U.S. border crisis? Because most of them are all in the bag for the Democrats. They all agree this is a good thing. Okay. I mean, even Fox, which at one point was a conservative outlet and is now a rhino outlet. I mean, open up Fox any day and you can guarantee there's two stories there. One on Taylor Swift and one on how Nikki Haley should be the next president of the country. Okay. Both stories are, toilet paper. But yeah, the media is so completely in the bag for Joe. It's whatever the Democrats say is gospel. I mean, how many stories do you hear about the I hate to even use this term for them, women on The View, talking about how great Joe's doing. I mean, that's the media. That's the stuff they're force feeding the public. You wonder why people don't watch TV anymore, because it's all propaganda. I mean, the Soviet Union didn't have as good of a propaganda machine as the mainstream media in the United States does. Let's see. Dano not in a lion's den. Thoughts on Trump being a controlled opposition? That's more rhino bullshit talk. Uh, I don't listen to any of that crap. When the majority of the voters in the country want Trump, when the majority of the voters in most European countries want nationalistic leaders to be voted into the EU Parliament, yeah, it's not some opposition. It's what the people want. Okay? The people don't want socialism. The people don't want globalism. The people don't want liberalism. They have seen again that it's failed, like it has every other time in the history of man. 5 Acre Gardener. Have I thought of pinball? Have you considered growing microgreens if it would be a needed food source? I've had this conversation with Brett in the past. I don't. I get it. Okay. Trust me, I like bean sprouts just like anybody else does. I don't see it as a real. It's certainly not a food crop. Okay, let's put it that way. Because maybe you could say it's a added vitamins crop or something like that, but it's certainly not a food crop. You know how many vitamins, how many microgreen plants you would need to have enough of a salad, if you will, to satisfy hunger, to give you enough energy. I mean, you'd have to have a massive plot. The reason I'm not a big fan, and if you are, it's your choice, okay? Seeds aren't cheap. Okay, even if you save them yourself, and if you're growing microgreens, you're never going to get seeds, so you have no way of seed saving. Okay, you think of, okay, you're going to plant peas or beans or whatever crop, because you can get microgreens out of almost anything, and you're going to let it grow to this big, and you're going to cut it down, and that seed is done. Okay, maybe you get a second growth out of it or whatever. You're not going to get constant growth, and you have no way to seed save from it. So all that money that you spent on those seeds, you start doing the how much food did I get for the dollar? And you go, okay, I'm paying $50 a pound. Got it. No. Can I see doing it if you've got, for a little in an SHTF situation, if you've got a little bit where you could grow some in the winter months to get some that fresh produce taste, maybe some of the vitamins that way. Yeah. Do I see it as it making sense for something to plant in your garden? No. My opinion. Gene Blair Grapevine says the convoy's a setup. That's fine. I mean, like I said, it could be, it might not be. The feds are going to be involved in it. Who knows? It's just another way of, the people trying to get their voice heard. And like I said in the video the other day, how much risk are you willing to take? Because you look at those people who were walking around Washington, D.C., nowhere near the Capitol, and now have the FBI knocking at their door. Now, we know that you were in Washington, D.C. on January 6th. Yeah, I was visiting grandma at the hospital. We need you to come in for questioning. What? That's what's happening. Original one shot, one kill. Pinball, do you see us taking Iran to the next level? All out war on him. Biden wants a war. Maybe. I mean, who knows what he's going to do? He's made a decision tonight, and we're going to retaliate. Okay, what does that mean? Does that mean we're going to send drones in and blow up a couple of mosques? Does it mean that we're going to start a war with them? I mean, who knows? Okay. I mean, Joe's a loose cannon, and he's going to get a lot of us in trouble. And who knows what he's going to do? I mean, this is it. It's like every day you get up in the morning and turn on the news or open up the computer and read the news. And I'm like, okay, what stupid shit happened overnight? Caveman Look says, born 66, we've been at war, conflict for 29 years. Oh yeah, I mean, that was it. There was a short period in the 80s and a short period where Trump wasn't president or was president that we weren't at war. That's about it. Mama D's Each One Teach One. Massive chicken farm fire in Texas today. I'm sure it's totally coincidental, right? Of course it is, you know, because, chickens are very flammable, just in case you didn't know that. If you rub their legs together, they cause a spark. Aaron Brody bought a socket fan today for my garage to move air from the wood stove. There you go. I mean, and it's things like that. It's those little things that you think about. It's like, all right, we just went through this cold weather. Okay. Where were my shortcomings? What can I do? And you learn from it. And so the next time when this next cold front hits, it's supposed to be in like 2.5 weeks or something. We're supposed to get dumped on again. Now, Aaron's going, cool. If I got to go out to the garage and work, I don't know what he does, but maybe he works in his garage. I'm not cold. I can actually get a day's work in. Brenda Bandow, how is Mrs. Pinball doing these days, and what does she want to plant in the gardens this year? She's doing fine. We've got a medical issue we got to take care of with her next week, so nothing serious. Don't worry. But what does she want to plant in the garden? It's usually the same stuff. She wants to make sure she's got her cucumbers and her tomatoes and her beets and that sort of stuff. So, pretty much the same stuff that we rotate. I mean, the stuff that we grow every year. I mean, every year we grow cukes. Every year we grow tomatoes. Then it's the other stuff that, because I mean, like cucumbers, I mean, I've got more pickles than I know what to do with. I mean, I grew those, 2 years ago, and I've still got probably 40 jars of pickles. We're fine. Don't need to grow those. But regular cucumbers we eat with breakfast, lunch, dinner, or whatever. So grow those. Tomatoes, I mean, we eat those like apples around here in the summertime, and I mean, can of chili or stuffed peppers or stuffed cabbage or anything. I mean, salsa, tomato sauce, whole thing. I mean, we can a ton of tomatoes. I mean, we grow tomatoes like crazy. So that's kind of the point. But I mean, again, it's grow what you're gonna eat, and we grow what we eat, and we grow what we can store. Linda Town, there should be enough cameras on that border to tell who's doing what. Okay, except when you start to think that the border is 1900 and some odd miles along the southern border. Okay, if you had one camera per mile, that would be 1900 cameras. How many people does it take to sit there and watch 1900 monitors that are covering 1 mile of space? I mean, it's a thing. It's a logistical nightmare. That's why things like a wall or concertina wire, for all I care, put crocodiles in the Rio Grande and then put landmines in there. I think that's a better idea. Like I said, I still like my 1 mile buffer zone, sell tickets, shoot anything that moves is still the best idea. There's no way we would have any problem with raising money and selling tickets. Graylin Faw, what are my thoughts on aquaponics for a food source? If you can do it, great. It's doing it to scale, is the difficult part. You think of, I mean, I was talking about a week or so ago on how much food you've got to grow per person. Okay. And, when you're talking about 1,300 to 1,500 pounds survival food, okay, because the average American eats 2,000 pounds of food now. So 1,300 to 1,500 pounds is 60 to 70%, 60 to 75. And you got 4 people in your house. You go, okay, I need to grow 6,000 pounds of food to eat this year. 3 tons. Okay. weighs what your truck weighs. It's going to be kind of hard doing that in PVC pipe. So it's just, you got to think to garden some like that. Sure, maybe you can do a little bit in the house over the winter and get yourself some fresh produce over the winter doing it. Yeah, gotcha. On a large scale again, that's going to be really expensive. Old hippie, how's Brett adapting to his new environment? He's spent the last 3 months busting his ass on his house. So far so good. I went over and saw him. When did I go over there? Saturday? Friday? I think it was Friday. Hung out with him for a few hours and stuff like that. But yeah, he was working on his food preservation at the time. Patty G, sorry I'm late. Was watching my governor try to pretend she cares about the people. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Like any other politician. Really, I care about you. Oh, it's the election over. Who are you again? Okay. Jesse Moya, hello, Pinball. A friend said the trucker convoy will rally 15 miles from the actual border. Okay. Uh, I mean, at least they're going to be close enough that their presence will be known. But again, it all depends on the amount of people that show up. You know, if it's 700,000 trucks, great. If it's 7,000 trucks, great. If it's 70 trucks, who cares? Okay. 54 Cal, we need a growing competition and see each other's gardens. That would make a good video. Yeah, it would. I wouldn't disagree with you there, but if you want to do something like that, have at it. You have no idea what the editing of something like that and the work behind putting, getting 20 some odd people, 50 people to send pictures of gardens and stuff like that, and then editing it from different video types. And yeah, have fun. I mean, just for me to edit and upload a video when I put a chart or something, or any sort of insert into a video in the morning, that adds an hour to the time from the upload of the video to the software, editing the software, downloading the software back to the computer so I can upload it to YouTube. Yeah, that adds an hour easy. Healthy disrespect. Are my sweet potatoes making slips yet? No, I'm not doing sweet potatoes this year. You're saying no sprouts on mine 3 weeks in. That's no big surprise. You may wait 8, 10, 12 weeks before you start seeing any sprouts. So just leave them be, let them go. They will do their thing. That's why you start them this early. Okay, now I got to go back to find where we were again. Hang on. Do. Okay, back to where I was. Rayanne Tilbury, do I think chemtrails are a real thing? No, I know they are a real thing. Okay, it's very obvious when you look in the sky. You can tell the difference between a chemtrail and a contrail real easy. A contrail, the exhaust, if you will, or whatever it is, you'll see those kind of dissipate. Okay, and it'll be tight, and as the plane gets further away, that spreads out. A chemtrail is like solid, and you look back 5 miles behind the plane, it's still the same size. Okay. Pretty easy to tell the difference. Checks to mix one. Did I start my cabbages too early? Zone B are in solo cups about 4 to 5 inches tall. No, you didn't start them too early. You're actually that's probably about right. I mean, mine in a few weeks will probably be that high, and I'm 6B, maybe 7A, depending on what Yahoo decided to drop the map this time. Yeah, you should be good. North Alabama hiking. Does the non-alcoholic Bush Light taste like the same as? It's not light. It's just non-alcoholic Bush. No, it tastes it still tastes like beer, but it has a different taste than beer does to it. It doesn't have that. I don't even know how you want to explain it. That little. The only way to describe it's like a little warm burn to it at the end or something like that, which the non-alcoholic stuff does. It still tastes like beer to me. That's fine. It ain't good beer, but it's hey, it's a lot better than drinking Coke. Yeah, Farm Ranch Homestead. I like this. They call television programming for a reason. I like that. Uh, Nightman's wife. Do I think they're going to jam up the people who are down at the border? I have a feeling there's going to be some. Yeah, that they're going to start causing hell for them. Because again, the feds are going to be down there, and they're going to do the same thing down there that they did on January 6th. Jamie Dolan, are body bags smell proof? No. Whitson's mom, do I have a good sauerkraut soup recipe? No, I've got a good sauerkraut recipe. It's posted on the Cooking with Mrs. Pinball playlist, but not a sauerkraut. I don't make sauerkraut soup. I've heard of it and might have had it once or twice in my life, but no, I don't. Not something we make around here. Diana K, have I ever saved seed from my garden onions? No, I do not. Onions are a biennial, so the only way you're going to get seed, and it's difficult, and you can do it down south. You can do it anywhere, but like if you want to save seed from an onion, okay, because it's a biennial, which means it seeds every 2 years. Okay? You literally have to plant the onion this year, even where I am, get the onion to grow, then got to do this in a pot. You got to move it into a climate controlled area, like in the house. I mean, hell, we got down to 0 here, a week or so ago. So it doesn't freeze over the winter. Then you got to get it outside again this year so it can bolt. So then you can get the seed pod at the end of this year or at the end of next year. So you have to go through 2 years before you're going to get seed. Not worth it. I've got onion seed. How long they're going to be good, I don't know. I plant sets from Dixondale, which is the way I'm going to go. But I mean, if it ever comes down to the point of I can't get those, either my seeds grow that I have, they lasted, they germinated, or I just don't have onions. I mean, that's, or you can have wild onions, or this is why you get like walking onions or bunching onions are a good thing too. Chives, something that comes back every year. Those are good because at least you can get the flavor. You may not get the ball onions, but at least you can get the onion flavor. Kathy Gibson, I hear they're going to federalize the National Guard. I'd love to know where you heard that, because good luck doing that. You may have some morons on YouTube saying that, or these TikTokers or whatever that have no idea how the National Guard works. I talked the other day about the joke of Joe federalizing the Texas National Guard and how that won't work. No, guys, you gotta pay attention to some of these YouTubers, Facebookers, TikTokers, Instagrammers, where that just completely put scam information out there. I mean, you had stuff the other day. I mean, I saw a couple of these videos on YouTube that actually came up in my recommended list. That there was one where there were tanks on the border, and the American soldiers were shooting at the tanks. No, that was complete BS. You know how you know that? Because if you looked at the video closely, it was a damn video game that they were saying. Somebody had a video game where it's like this first person walking, and you could tell by the movement in there that it was a video game. But he was talking over this, and this is first person video that we've got. This is actual, where they're attacking the soldiers and attacking the tanks. You gotta be kidding me, but they were portraying this as legitimate. And I mean, it was complete bullshit. It was a bad job of it too. You know, if it doesn't make sense, check it out. Chances are your hunch, your logic is right. Dawn Hill. The funniest thing that I read today was when Joe Biden said that Trump is trying to make Joe look bad. Yeah, right. Like you said, he's doing that all by himself. Yeah. It doesn't, nobody has to help Joe look bad. Joe does a good job of himself. One shot, one kill. Thank you for the super chat. I saw that come through somewhere. I don't know if I can still find it here. Nope, of course it's not going to show up. There it was. Hang on, see, there it is. It says, thought I was demonetized as there were no super chats, so another dog shelter donation for you. There you go. Nope, still doing fine. Okay. Member Barry, how long do you think we can continue this path on this path before we follow the Roman Empire? Oh, I mean, we are following the Roman Empire quickly. I mean, we've talked about this in the past about, what's right is wrong, what's wrong is right. I mean, when we're legalizing gambling all over the country, when we're legalizing drugs all over the country, when we're now trying to legalize prostitution all over the country, there's the Roman Empire right there, and that, the collapse, but how the economy works, everything. But we all know that this is a plan by the globalists. And I've said it for a couple of years now, they need the US to collapse for globalism ever to take place, because the rest of the world, the other 194 countries, couldn't manage to globalism if the United States is not involved. They have to have the United States, so they need to crush the country. And it's up to us, the citizens of the country, to say, no, you're not taking over. We have no interest in, living in Klaus Schwabitopia or whatever it is, not going to happen. North of the 52nd, who was my main news site for news? I don't have a main one. I probably look at 50 different things. I've given you guys lists numerous times. So, yeah. Okay. Looking at stuff we've already talked about. Yeah. Prepper says CBN YouTube has a story about the convoy. Okay. But again, that's somebody on YouTube. That's not CNN or, CBS. This is a YouTube channel. Von Mousetrap, was the decision made tonight include vanilla, chocolate, or strawberry? I have no idea what that is you're talking about. So I will move on. Let's see. Yeah, Prepper at Preeper again. Does Mrs. P have flower gardens? Oh yeah, she got flower gardens all over the place. That's pretty much, I do. If we say how it works, it's 80-20. I do the vegetable gardens. It's 80-20. She does the flower gardens. I mean, I'll do some of the heavier labor, but she takes care of her flower gardens. I take care of the vegetable gardens. We each help each other a little bit, but her responsibilities, my responsibilities. It's like she's not getting out there behind a tiller or something like that, but she's more than willing to help me pull weeds or water or fertilize or harvest or whatever. So, Sinba, what kind of cabbage did I plant this year? Jersey Wakefields, just because I've had good luck growing those here before. So if that variety works, I will stick with it. Do I have tips for growing bok choy? No, because I don't grow it, but it can't be that different than growing cabbage. We tried some Chinese cabbage last year, which probably the same stuff, and the problem we had was it bolted basically instantly. The plant was this big and it bolted. And we're like, okay, that's the end of that. Napa cabbage or whatever. So, yeah. Anything, my cabbage will be in the ground in probably a month. You know, I mean, I don't care how cold it is, but because cabbage will germinate at anything over 40 degrees, and cabbage will be fine in weather down to about 25. So, uh, Celine 77 star 99. Do I process tomatoes by hand or with a hand crank machine? Depends on what I'm doing it for. Uh, if we are making salsa or something, then I'm gonna steam my tomatoes, peel them, we put them in a pot, and I use one of those, I don't know what you want to call them, mixing sticks or whatever. You know, it's about yay long, this big around, and got a little whisk on the bottom, and puree those all up. If I'm making salsa, it's cutting them up into chunks and doing it that way. So it all depends on what I'm doing. But some of it's mechanical, some of it's by hand. It just depends on what I'm doing. Beverly Scruggs, what company do I buy my gold and silver? Again, checking prices, but usually for me, it's either SD Bullion, JM Bullion, or BGASC. Those are the ones where I seem to get the best prices and I trust. Okay. Let's see. Vicky Savage, we grabbed an alligator and powdered his behind, and when he touched the powder off, the alligator lost his mind. Okay. Somebody needs to put down the whiskey bottle. Okay. Chatty Biggums, can I highlight your setup for starting veggies indoors at some point? Yeah, I can probably do so. I mean, if you go back and watch the ones from last spring, you're going to see exactly what it was. But I mean, I'll get out there. I mean, the garage is a mess. It's, Christmas decorations have to go up in the attic and stuff. I've got stuff I've got to move around in there and clean the place out again, set it up, but I can get into my greenhouse. So that's where the cabbage is right now. But by no means am I ready to go in full bore when I need to plant beans and peppers and tomatoes and everything else that's going in the ground. I got to clean the garage up, but I've got a couple of months still. That's got to happen. We already did that one. Caveman Luck, in the 80s, my time at Gitmo, there was a no man's land. I had landmines. We need that on our board. Yeah, I agree. That's it. Trust me, if we have landmines out there and a couple of illegals go boom, we're not going to have anybody else coming across the border. They're not going to be going, well, yeah, you know what? I got no problem tiptoeing around for a mile and see if I can get in. And I don't care what remember Princess Diana, oh, it's so inhumane to have landmines in there. No, it's so inhumane that we've got people coming across the border taking up the resources that they do not deserve from the people that do deserve them. That's inhumane. That we, the actual citizens of this country, are suffering because they're coming in with their hand out going, we didn't come here to work. We came here for the free stuff we were promised, right? Oh God, Smash 77. The devil worship class is back at a Moline, Illinois elementary school. Great. Let's see. Circe just filled the 8th, I'm assuming that's jar of beef bone broth. Yay. There you go. Hey. Forest Ghost Preparedness. Pinball, is building a bunker or a makeshift bunker practical? Maybe. There's so many variables in that. Okay. Where do you live? First off, I mean, if you live in the suburbs somewhere, probably, in the city, forget it. It's not okay. Go ask my apartment complex if I can dig a hole and build a bunker in the backyard. So no, not at all. So I'm guessing you're probably living out in the country somewhere, such as me. Is it practical? Maybe. Uh, I mean, and again, you got, everybody's, oh, you bury a shipping container. Yeah, no. Okay. You got to realize that the reinforcements that you have to do for a shipping container are astronomical. I can get a shipping container for $4,000. Yeah, great. As soon as you bury it, the weight of all that pressure from the sides and pressure from the top basically collapse it like a tin can. So that's useless. How good are you going to be able to use it? Remember, you got to have an oxygen source. You got to have some way to get rid of your waste. Uh, why do you want the shelter? Is it because of nuclear war? Okay, if you think that you're close enough that you're going to get a nuclear bomb dropped on you, do you want to survive it? I mean, it's a tough question to answer. I mean, and believe me, I've thought about it. I'm like, it just doesn't make sense. I mean, it I'm not, you talk about these guys who they spent $500,000 on their bunker. My house isn't worth $500,000. I'm sure as hell not building a hole in the ground for $500,000. So how big is it going to be? What are you going to be able to do in it? I mean, if you're talking about a 10 by 10, that's the size of a bedroom. I mean, think about it. Claude Camardo, my bug out housing is full of field mice. Any idea how to get rid of them? Uh, well, okay, the first thing to do is get traps in there or whatever. But I will give you this. This is a good. Get some peppermint oil. You can get it on Amazon or whatever it is, and spray all over the inside of the building or whatever it is with peppermint oil. It is a natural repellent to rodents, so it'll keep the mice out. They will get out of there. Then get yourself some traps, get yourself some poison, make sure you clean it up, but just keep spraying it with peppermint oil. Run the inside, run the outside, so they don't have any desire to come in. Jersey Prepper. I saved all my seeds, plus I bought some more, and I'm doing the red solo cup thing to sell to the neighbors in the community. Any suggestions on price? See what Walmart's selling them for, and undercut Walmart by about 30%. If Walmart's selling for $5, sell them for $3. Okay. What's your cost between a little bit of dirt, a solo cup, and a seed? Maybe 60, 65 cents. You make $2 profit per solo cup. Obviously you're going to have nice looking plants, but, and you sell 100 of them, because when people go into Walmart, they don't go, I want one tomato plant. They go, I want 12. Okay. So a couple $100, sell them for, but I mean, if Walmart's selling them for $5, sell them for $4. Just compare it that way. And then again, how are you growing them too? Yours, chances are, will be organic, my guess. Okay, because when you're starting seeds, yeah, they're not certified organic, but somebody says, well, how do you know yours are organic? My soil's organic. I didn't use any fertilizers, so it's been water and a seed and sunlight. Guess what? We're done. Hart Miller, best comms for the money. I have Midland, good for 2 miles, in Bofang. Then you pretty much got it taken care of. I mean, you've got a ham radio. You got, I'm assuming by Midland, you mean a CB. And you pretty much got what you need. So move on to something else at this point. We don't, you don't have to have the state of the art $20,000 everything to do it. Have something that's going to work to, get you there. All right. So you got your comms taken care of, your weaponry taken care of, your security taken care of, food taken care of. There's a lot of things. Your medicine taken care of, your clothing taken care of, vehicles, whatever. Go that way. All right. One more. Kitsy Witty, what car, truck, vehicle would I buy and why in 2024? Something four-wheel drive for sure. something either gas or diesel powered for sure. Whether it is a pickup, an SUV, or something. But again, think again of think of a situation and go, all right, how many people are in my house? I got 4 people in my house. Good. That vehicle has to carry 4 people. Okay. It has to carry gear in the cab. Okay. So if you get a pickup truck, you got bug out bags. Those need to stay in the cab with you. They need to stay dry as best you can keep them dry. Some stuff's going to go in the bed of a truck or in the back or whatever. So think about, 4-wheel drive for sure, and how many people you can carry. And then it's just a matter of brand. I mean, personally for me, I'll never buy another Dodge in my life. I mean, when I had to put 2 transmissions in a Dodge truck before 140,000 miles, I'm like, I'll never buy another Dodge. Some people swear on Chevy, some people swear on Ford, some people want to buy Toyota, whatever. That's personal preference. Okay. Whether it's new or old is up to you. I mean, you can use both examples. Gee, if I buy an old 70s pickup truck, it's all mechanical. It's not, I can work on it, EMP proof or whatever, you could say that. Or you can buy, something that's newer. I wouldn't say buy something that's new. And you go, okay, chances are there's more parts available. It's more reliable. I'm going to be able to find spare parts because there's going to be similar trucks or similar cars or whatever abandoned on the side of the road that I can pilfer parts off of if I need to. So, but what I would buy, something that's 4-wheel drive, that's got enough space inside of it to carry however many people/animals you need to be. And it's 9:01 and I'm already into Jason's time. So that's it for the night, guys. Have a good one. We'll see you tomorrow. Pinball out.